What if I told you that the most famous UFO crash in history wasn't hidden very well? What if the government admitted the truth, and then panicked, and took it back? This isn't a story about speculation. This is a story about witnesses, physical evidence, and a cover-up so rushed it contradicted itself in under 24 hours. This is the Roswell UFO incident. It's early July, 1947. New Mexico, high desert, miles of empty land. A rancher named Mac Brazel rides out after a brutal overnight storm. He expects damage, broken fences, maybe a dead sheep. Instead, he finds debris scattered across nearly a mile of desert. Not smashed metal, not an aircraft. It's something else. Foil that wouldn't crease, beams that wouldn't burn, and fragments so light they felt unnatural. And etched into the debris, symbols. Not letters, not numbers. Brazel had lived on that land his entire life. He knew weather balloons, he knew aircraft. But this was neither. Brazel reports what he found to the local sheriff. Within hours, the military arrives. Not local troops, not investigators, but officers from the Roswell Army Airfield, home to the 509th Bomb Group, the only nuclear-capable unit on Earth at the time. They don't study the debris, they collect it, they secure the site, and they escort Brazel away. Then, something incredible happens. On July 8, 1947, the U.S. Army issues a press release. It says clearly, the Army Air Force has recovered a flying disc. A flying disc. Newspapers across America explode. The military didn't say maybe. They didn't say unidentified debris. They said flying disc. And then, they realized what they'd done. Less than 24 hours later, the story changes. Now, it's just a weather balloon. The military displays wreckage, rubber, sticks, and tinfoil. Nothing like what the witnesses described. And Brazel, when reporters finally see him again, his story's different. He avoids questions. He looks nervous. People who knew him said he'd been threatened. And then just like that, silence. For 30 years, Roswell is dismissed. That is until the late 1970s. That's when former military personnel begin talking. Men on their deathbeds. Pilots, medics, intelligence officers. They describe multiple crash sites, materials not from Earth, and bodies. Small, non-human, and recovered from the wreckage. Some say the bodies were taken to hangars. Others say they were shipped to secret bases, under armed guard. But every witness agrees on one thing. This was not human technology. Decades later, the government offers a new explanation. Project Mogul, a top-secret balloon program designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests. But here's the problem. Project Mogul balloons didn't scatter debris for miles. And they didn't require armed recovery teams. They didn't involve changing the story multiple times. But most importantly, they didn't explain the bodies. So why lie in 1947? Why not just say it was classified technology? In 1947, the Cold War was just beginning. Admitting that an unknown aircraft had entered U.S. airspace, and that we couldn't stop it, would have caused panic, loss of trust, and global fear. So they buried it. And Roswell became the blueprint for every UFO cover-up that followed. Roswell isn't just about aliens. It's about control, secrecy, and who gets to decide what the public can handle. And over time, lies change, stories evolve. But witnesses, especially those with nothing left to lose, don't all tell the same story by accident. So the question isn't, did something crash at Roswell? The question is, What did we recover? And why are we still talking about it nearly 80 years later?